Now I'm going to show you how to add posts to WordPress, which is also very straightforward. It's very similar to Pages. So you just can click on this post. Now here will list all the posts that you already have on your site. So if ever you want to edit one, you can just come in here and click edit and do what you want to it. By default, you will have this Hello World post, so I suggest you get rid of that because no one's going to want to see that. So we'll remove that. Now we can just click add new. Again, you can go from the top as well, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to write a post, how to start a blog. So that's the title of the post. So that's what will appear in a big title on the page. It'll also be what's used across the site. You know, like if you have a list on the home page of your most recent post, that's the name that will appear. Now here you just put whatever text you want, you know, so this is some text. You can have headings. So maybe I'll write something more useful for you. Step 1 might be a heading, and then I have some more text. So what I recommend you do is you click on that, so you get 2 lines of options. So these are like all your formatting options that you can do easily. So if you click on this, now heading 1 is the title of the post. So that would be how to start a blog. That will come up as heading 1. So I would not use heading 1 in your posts. You would use heading 2 for your big subheadings, and then you could have a smaller subheading. Would be heading 3, and you just sort of keep going down that way. Okay, because generally your theme will show them in order of size, like with 1 being the biggest, 2 the next. It's also important when you start worrying about SEO that your headings are like orderly and make sense. So there's many reasons why you want to do that properly. And yes, you can do your text if you want to make something bold. You know, you just highlight it and click bold, or italic, strike through. You know, you can have a list with numbers or with bullet points. So say we had a list, open WordPress or whatever. You can do all of that. You can align the text. You know, it's a bit like using Word. It's pretty intuitive. You could add a link. So maybe to this I could add, you know, put a link to WordPress. So it's very straightforward. The other thing is that you'll probably want to do is the same as what we did in the page. That's adding a picture. So just go add media. So you can just drag and drop pictures in, or you can navigate to them. I think it's easy just to drag and drop. So it'll upload pictures. Again, you can change the title, the caption, the alt text, whatever you want. So the important things here is the caption, because that will show up on the page, whatever you write here. And the alt text ideally is meant to describe the image for people who can't see the images for various reasons. So we'll just let that finish. I think I just uploaded a very big image then. It's a good idea to resize them before uploading. Like, it will size for you, but you just save a lot of effort if you do that, and it's better for your site speed. So say for Digital Nomad Wannabe, I resize my images to be a horizontal width of 800 pixels. But what you need to do and what looks good on your site will depend on what theme you use. But I mean, if you resize them even to say 1,000 pixels, unless you're a very photography intensive site, you know, that should be fine. So this is the type of thing we might write. We'll insert it in. See how it says oh no. Oh, what I forgot to change when I added that is to center align it, and I like them large. So, I mean, you can do that afterwards by pressing that edit, or I could have done that on the previous screen. And that's basically what you do. So you can keep writing in there till you've finished writing your text. Now there's a couple of other things you'll want to do for a post. Something you should do regularly, just in case, is press save draft. Of course, it saves in your browser as well, so you should be okay, but you know, it is computers, so I would save it regularly. Okay, some other things you're going to want to do is give it a category. So by default it's gone uncategorized, so I'm going to call it building a blog. You can add tags if you want to, so you can start writing them. and they'll show up here. So I could start doing that, and I would see advertising, or you can just choose. So it'll bring up a list of your most used tags. Since I haven't used any, it says none. But yeah, so you can add some stuff here. So let's just say I do SEO. So it's got it there. I just press add. Now it's got that tag. Now the other thing you definitely want to do is add this featured image. Now a featured image is what shows up across your site. So say on your homepage, you have a list of your most recent articles. Generally it will have the title and it will have the featured image. So I really recommend you stick that featured image, like you make sure you set one. Same if someone searches on your site or they go look at a category, you know, it's going to show those featured images. So put like your best image as the featured image. Now another good thing to do is from this SEO Yoast plugin. So if you installed that, you can see how it'll look in Google search, right? Now what I recommend you do is that you edit snippets, so that's called the meta description, and you make something that's quite useful here. So if someone sees this in Google search, how to start a blog, you know, write a little description of what it is that's likely to get people to want to click on that link and see what your post is about. So this, you get about 160 characters. So you would try and fill it out. You would write more than that. And that's really all you need to do. So when you're finished and you've got it looking beautiful, you would click publish, and then it's live on your site straight away. Okay, so we can view that post. So you can see it's got the image. So for this theme, some themes also put your featured image at the top. So you can usually turn that off or not. Again, that's theme dependent. It's usually in your theme options. So if that's the case, you're not going to want to put the same picture in the post, but that's all up to you. And then you can see people can comment because I've got commenting on. I've got it so it shows the author. And something else you might want to do is to edit your profile. Okay, because like I just made up a silly name for my username so people wouldn't guess it and log in as me. But you can fill in the information here. So I can put like Sharon Goulet, and then you can decide how you want to be displayed as. So I might put Sharon. So then instead of saying Shazza Tazza like we just saw on that page, that's a bit embarrassing, I picked that. You can make it so it shows your name, which is much nicer. Now this email address, what is good is if you have an email address, if you already have a gravatar set up that you might have, it'll show your photo from that. If not, that's fine, it doesn't really matter. And if you write a bit of information here on some themes, it will show up and it will have that little bit of information, you know, so you might just have a little bit of introduction to who you are. If you look at Digital Nomad Wannabe or Where's Sharon, you'll notice I have like a little blurb about me. Okay, here is the profile picture bit. So yes, if you want to add that and you don't already have one from your email address, you can go here to Gravatar and you can add a photo that way. Just make sure you set up the account with the same email address as you have in this profile. Okay, now just update. And my profile's done. So if we go back to looking at this post that we just created, you know, you'll see it's got my name now, and because I already have a gravatar for that email address, it also brings up my photo. So anyway, that's all you need to do to add a new post. When you want to add another one, you can just go new post and just start the process all over again.